Hey, in this video, I'm going to give you the 10 cheapest places to live in Florida. Then at the very end, I'm also going to give you a place I think is the most amazing place to live in Florida. I'm going to do it backwards. So I'm going to give you the 10th, 9, 8, and down to number 1. So number 1 will be the very cheapest place to live in Florida. Before I do that, do me a favor, hit that like button, leave a comment at the bottom, and please subscribe to my channel. Okay, here we go. The 10th cheapest place to live in Florida coming up right now. The 10th cheapest place to live in Florida is Edgewater, Florida. Yeah, I know you're going, like, where is Edgewater? Okay, Edgewater is just south of New Smyrna Beach and just north of what you would know as Cape Canaveral. Now, probably the best thing about living there is you get to watch the rockets take off and shoot up in the air and that sort of thing. But there's a place there called, it's adjacent to the Indian River, which is adjacent to the Mosquito Lagoon. The Mosquito Lagoon. That should tell you one of the reasons it's a cheap place to live. They probably have a lot of mosquitoes there, but Edgewater, Florida is the 10th cheapest place to live in Florida. And by the way, that's on the East Coast. If I didn't make that clear, it's just south of New Smyrna Beach and just north of Cape Canaveral on the East Coast. Okay, the 9th cheapest place to live in Florida is Melbourne. Melbourne is it's south of Cape Canaveral and a good ways north of West Palm Beach. It's kind of on the East Coast, no doubt. It's southeast of Orlando. This one surprises me a little bit that it would be cheap to live there because it's a pretty desirable area. So Melbourne, Florida would be the number 9th cheapest place to live in Florida. The 8th cheapest place to live in Florida is Homosassa Springs. Yeah, I'm having a hard time even saying that one. It's well north of Tampa. Probably not that desirable of a place in Tommy's opinion, but you may love it there. But Homosassa Springs is north of Tampa, and it's the 8th cheapest place to live in Florida. 7th cheapest place to live is Bartow, Florida. Bartow, you ever heard of Bartow? Hey, it's just east of Tampa, and it would be south of Lakeland. There's some pretty rural areas out there, but it's a darn convenient place to live. So I'm a little surprised, but I think because it has a part of a rural area tied to it, it's part of Polk County, which if you ever watched any YouTube stuff, the Polk County Sheriff, look, that guy, he's really interesting. But anyway, number 7 is Bartow, Florida, would be the 7th cheapest place to live in Florida. The 6th cheapest place to live in Florida is Kissimmee, or how about Kissimmee? It's all part of that Orlando area, so I don't need to tell you a whole lot more about it other than it's contiguous and close to Orlando. So if you're really digging the Disney thing and you like a lot of traffic, it'd be a great place to live. I'm a little puzzled again that one would be one of the cheapest places to live. But I guess there's a lot of turnover there. I don't know why it would be cheap, but it is cheap. So the 6th cheapest place to live is what? Kissimmee? Or Kissimmee. The 5th cheapest place to live in Florida is Dunedin. Yeah, Dunedin. Dunedin is a good bit north of Tampa. It's on the West Coast. It's a pretty desirable area, but again, it's got some rural mix out there, and I guess that's why it's a fairly inexpensive place to live, or it's ranked number 5 as the 5th cheapest place to live in Florida, Dunedin. The 4th cheapest place to live in Florida is Dade City. Kind of sounds like a western town, like gunslingers and stuff there, right? It's a good bit northeast of Tampa. It's kind of a rural area. It's part of Pasco County. Anytime you hear Pasco County, you can kind of count on it being an inexpensive place to live, or less expensive than a lot of places. So the number 4th cheapest place to live in Florida is Dade City. Bang bang, shoot 'em up, cowboy. 3rd cheapest place to live in Florida is, are you ready for this one? Gainesville, Florida. University of Florida is located there. You've got some rural areas out and around that. It kind of butts up to Ocala, a lot of horse country there. But that's pretty surprising considering that it's a college town, a lot of students there, that what you would think would kind of run the numbers up. But it's the 3rd cheapest place to live in Florida, and that would be Gainesville. The second cheapest place to live in Florida is Cape Coral. Now, that doesn't surprise me all that much. Cape Coral, you may be familiar with the fact that they've really been hit badly by the hurricanes. It's kind of tucked in between Fort Myers and Naples on the west coast of Florida. It's a pretty desirable place to live, and those other cities, especially in Naples, is really, really expensive to live. So the second cheapest place, believe it or not, is Cape Coral. But I think that has in part to do with the fact that they've had a lot of hurricanes there. By the way, they have over 400 canals in Cape Coral, Florida. So it's pretty desirable. So the fact that it's the second cheapest place to live in Florida is pretty darn remarkable. Okay, here we go. The number one cheapest place to live in Florida. A little drum roll, just a little drum roll. The number one cheapest place in Florida, this was a real surprise to me, is Jacksonville, Florida. And Jacksonville, I believe, is probably one of the largest land masses or cities in the country. Might be the second, maybe the first largest landmass city in the country. You know, it's tucked into the northeastern part of the state, right in that corner. It's really not in Florida. It's really part of Georgia. Anyway, that's Jacksonville is the number one cheapest place to live in Florida. So there you have it. There's the 10 cheapest places to live in Florida. Now, I'm going to give you something really special. I'm going to give you my opinion of the best place to live in Florida. And the best place to live in Florida, believe it or not, and you can believe it, is St. Petersburg, Florida. Yeah, it is an absolute great place. I live on Treasure Island, Florida, which is right beside St. Petersburg, Florida. St. Petersburg, Florida is amazing. It's growing like gangbusters. I mean, downtown St. Pete is truly remarkable. That you could probably eat at a different restaurant 100 straight nights in a row. If you love sports, it's a great place to be. If you love the arts, it's a great place to be. The theater, a great place to be. So if you're looking for a great place to live and you don't want to go to one of those 10 cheapest, and trust me, St. Petersburg is not that expensive to live. Think about moving to St. Petersburg. Hey, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment if you will, and watch this video right here. This video right here is going to give you some pros and cons of living in St. Petersburg, Florida. How about that? Thanks and have a great day.